Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It is dark and early, and we are over here at Dayspring Farms getting started this morning. This is Luthien. She's my early morning buddy. Yep. And she's still a pup, so we're working on our manners, but she's a good dog. She's a good dog. We start our day with some prayers, because early mornings, you really feel your need for Jesus. And Jesus made this wonderful thing called coffee that we also get going with bright and early, dark and early, as the case may be. And we come out here and we make some prostrations because that helps us get our day off on the right foot all day long. I use my body to hopefully serve Christ, and it needs a blessing and it needs some guidance first thing in the morning. So making my body bow down before the one who I am trying to serve all day long is super useful to me. Also, in a former life, I was a bit of an athlete. I used to be a marathon runner, and I'm a really physical person. I'm just a really physical person, so prostrations speak to me. Anything that you see here in this vlog that looks like it may be representative of orthodoxy, please know that it is it's personal. Orthodoxy is a hugely personal faith. You practice it, as your life in Christ. So if you don't do prostrations, don't do prostrations. I started doing them as suggested by Father Thomas Hopko in his 55 Maxims for Daily Living. And if you haven't looked at that, if you haven't checked that out, you should. I'll link to it in the show notes because it's been super useful to me. Anyway, is it just me or does he look a little bit like this guy? Sam the Snowman from Rudolph. Hopefully where Father Tom is now, he doesn't mind me saying that. I was kind of trying to do a day in the life sort of a video for you guys. But you may notice that for the most part, it really only goes until like 11 in the morning because that's about how long it takes for me to sort of lose track of what's going on around here and sort of forget that I was trying to do that. There's a lot going on. You may have noticed. Today we're using beer. And like I said, hops have amino acids. Beer has some vitamin B in it that's good for your skin. It is easy on your skin barrier pH. A couple of years ago, I got diagnosed with celiac disease, which is an autoimmune disorder, and you can't have gluten anymore. And beer has gluten in it. And they make some decent gluten-free beers, but they don't replace the real thing. This is this stuff, which is a Wisconsin favorite, and I used to really love it, but I can't have it now. Most of the gluten-free beers that they make are, I will cook with them. Let's just say I will cook with them. I don't love to drink them, but I do love the way that my house smells when I am boiling that stuff. So when we boil beer, what does our house smell like?
Beer.
Like beer. It smells like we live in a brewery, doesn't it? Yeah, it's kind of nice. I'm kind of a fan. Do you like it? Does it smell good? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it smells good. I happened to be soaping this morning starting at about 3:30. You can see that the sun has started coming up, but this is a good time for me to do soap because it's kind of a safe time. My kids are all asleep. You do not have to worry about anybody coming down and encountering something potentially dangerous, which lye solution can be, right? What, does it smell good? Yeah, it does? Because we like to add a little suds to our suds, huh?
Is that burning?
No. Yep, that. Thanks, man. Good job. One of the reasons we love goat milk soap so much, or even beer soap for that matter, is that we wash our hands about 5 million times a day without exaggeration. After diaper changes, before food prep, after coming in from outside, after handling farm animals, so many opportunities to wash our hands. During the pandemic, I was super disturbed by the sense that people really needed to be told to wash their hands. Please tell me all y'all are washing your hands anyway. And that was just, yeah. Anyway, so using really good soap is really, really important to us. Hey guys, here I am in our soap studio, and I just wanted to show you some nerdy soap chemistry that my kids thought was really fascinating, okay? So, look at this. Indigo coloring. I don't know if you can see this. Indigo coloring. Okay, it's a natural blue colorant, right, that you can add to your soap and get this pretty blue. This is where it has been exposed to the air for the last 24 hours, okay? Now, I made a little cut in our indigo soap here, and I'm gonna abuse this bar of soap for a minute here, just to show you. Can you guys see on the table here? Are you able to see the table where I'm cutting? Yeah, in the picture? Okay. So look here. I have my camera crew behind the camera right now. Look. Can you see the difference here? Can you see the difference? Kind of green, yellowish green. Yeah, give it a minute. This was cut. I cut this little slice here probably. What do you think, Marta? 2 minutes ago? Yeah. It's been hardly any amount of time, right? Mm-hmm. This is how fast it turned this beautiful blue. I cut this guy 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago. Okay, so it went from this to this to this. Now, how are we doing here? It is turning blue almost as we speak. Okay, indigo has this reputation of having sort of a evolving color palette. So over time, as we let it cure over the next couple of weeks, I guess we'll see what we wind up with. But I thought this was some super fascinating nerdy soap chemistry that you might enjoy. When I watch the vlogs of other homesteaders on YouTube, I'm really excited to see how much their faith makes it into the story of their vlog. Most of them are Protestants, and that makes life a little different for us. It makes life different in some practical ways, like when your goats freshen in the middle of Great Lent, which ours do every single year. Freshen means they have their kids, and now suddenly you've got more milk than you ever knew what to do with. And Orthodox Christians during Great Lent, they don't eat animal products. So what do you do? And also Lent is like right around the beginning of spring when your chickens start laying like maniacs, and now you're drowning in milk and swimming in eggs. And what do you do with all of that? We have some solutions that we've discovered, but I have a feeling that those are somewhat unique concerns to us. Or when your goat's kid, all of them on a Saturday night, and one of them decides that she's not going to feed those kids because she's a first freshener. It's the first time she's ever had babies, and she just really doesn't even know what they are or what to do with them. But it's the Sunday of the Holy Cross, and doggone it, I am not going to miss the Sunday of the Holy Cross during Lent. So I stay up all night and I feed those kids, and I dash off to church, and I get back and I feed those kids again. But that is the homestead life if you are an Orthodox Christian. Some additional complications that perhaps are unique to us. Here you see Timothy and Marta preparing a traditional Wednesday morning or Friday morning breakfast. In addition to Great Lent, Orthodox Christians usually don't eat animal products on Wednesday or Friday. And the reasoning behind that is mostly discipline. Mostly it's a discipline. I'll talk more about that another time. But here we got a little surprise on this Wednesday morning when we made our breakfast. As you can see, yeah, you thought that was cinnamon. It doesn't taste like cinnamon. And here's a bit of what are we reading right now. Right now we're taking a little break from our homeschool efforts, but that doesn't mean we stop exploring, and our kids are just as interested in soap making as we are.
shopping fun. What can I say? Rejoice. Christ is risen from the dead, trampling down death by death. And upon us in the tombs bestowing life. Christ is risen. And he is risen. Christos was Christ. No, we still was Christ. Christ is risen. Indeed he is risen. The doors and the wisdom let us attend.
I feel like you skipped a whole big part there.
Like
Our kids are reluctantly letting go of the 40-day Paschal season.
Papa.
It just ended on Wednesday. We had the leave taking, and then Thursday was the Feast of the Ascension. They really love Pascha. They sing the angel cry at every possible opportunity.
Shine, 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 under that wisdom, the glory of the Lord had shone.
It's also Michael and my anniversary this week. 10 years. 10 years ago, we did this, which is to say that we wore crowns of martyrdom as we took our first steps with Christ as a married couple. Because in Orthodoxy, we have a deep sense of the romantic. Your marriage is a life of self-sacrifice, which actually is pretty romantic, because Michael and I disagree probably on 50% of things, and we still can make it work because we die into self all day long over here. Come on. Early morning buddy. Luthien, my early morning buddy. All of our dogs are named after Tolkien characters. Luthien was an elf princess who married a human man. We have a dog named Beorn, and we have a dog named Freda. And now we sound like total Tolkien nerds, which is really close to the truth. There's a lot of nerdiness around here. Anyway, Orthodox weddings are, most people obviously in the US have never been to an Orthodox wedding. So you'll see the crowns. Those are pretty distinctive. Rings aren't such a big they're not such a big feature of Orthodox weddings. Vows, there's no vows because our vows aren't to each other. Our vows are to Christ. We spend the wedding asking him to bless our lives together and to make them, basically to make them the story of walking together this road of repentance and the journey to salvation with him, and asking him to walk with us and to be the third person in our marriage, and to remind us that those crowns are for self-sacrifice. And you see this photo here with our hands wrapped up with it's a Romanian, I think they're Romanian towel, that our hands are joined together with Christ. And you see us walking around this table that has a cross on it and a gospel book and the common cup, which we share as part of the wedding service too, to remind us that all of our joys and all of our sorrows in this life are shared as a common cup. And walking around the table 3 times, that's our first steps in life together, united with Christ. And the rings do happen. You're not going to see it as part of the service because it's part of the betrothal. Actually, we give rings as part of the betrothal. And we don't put them on each other's hands. Actually, the priest puts them on our hands because it's Christ that is uniting us. We are not uniting ourselves to each other. So those are some distinctive things. It's been 10 years. And despite the fact that we agree with each other about 50% of the time, it still feels like it was the right choice. which I think is a testament to the power of Christ being the third person in your marriage. And a lot of good has come of it. It's kind of mind blowing to look at our 5 kiddos and realize that all of that started 10 years ago on this particular day.
I know. Okay, ready? In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Almighty God, please look after your children as only you can, as you continue to lead us by grace and love you.
Hi, we're the Dannies. We have a 3-bar cross on our door and goats on our porch. We're Orthodox Christians and first-generation homesteaders, and we are the owners of Dayspring Farm Soap Company, making quality handmade goat milk soap. Come along with us as we do the homestead life with Jesus, goats, and soap.